Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn show. Today is the February 8th. I'm aware that it is Super Bowl Sunday, but we have 4 NBA games to talk about, and I wanna dive into them with you guys. So as always, we start the show with the recap of yesterday, which yesterday was a nice little 1-1 split for me. It ended up being profitable because we took a live bet at halftime, and it's always frustrating when things go by half a point, but the Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks under 262.5, we got at halftime. Just with the 3-point shooting that was going on, it was like one team was shooting 50%, the other team was shooting like 47%. I was like, yeah, it's a good time to jump in on the under, but the Dallas Mavericks never really showed up defensively in that game at all. So game finished 263. It kept us away from a sweep. The other play I gave you guys yesterday was the Chicago Bulls and the Denver Nuggets. We had Denver minus the 5.5, 6. No matter what number you got. Jokic played like I thought he would, and then Jalen Smith got ruled out. And Denver sweated us out for the first quarter, get absolute mollywop. But they ended up getting the job done, pulling away in the fourth quarter specifically. The other things that I like were not winners though. Atlanta. Team total under, they did get to, I think, 119 points. So Charlotte not playing as much defense on the road. And then the under between the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. OKC, I didn't expect them to be as poor defensively. I also didn't expect Houston to shoot as well from the three-point line, but they were able to knock some shots down. Glad I kept those as leans and did not end up getting to the windows with those. Hopefully you guys found some ways to make some money. And today, hopefully we can find some more ways to make some money as well. Want to go through the comments real quick and then we'll get started, get up out of here. First game does start in about an hour, a little over an hour, I think. All right, so Adam always here with us. What's up, Chris? Let's get some NBA money. Prolific says, good morning, jankiness of the NBA. Got me turned off. Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact, man. I kind of want to address it. Because I am seeing it, of course. Like if you're watching the NBA, you're just seeing it in general. With what the Wizards did yesterday, what the Utah Jazz got a lot of slack, and I retweeted a couple posts yesterday. It's actually kind of terrible. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but there are ways to find. You got to think from a betting perspective. How can I find value when I know teams don't want to win? So go look at those season win totals. There a lot of people are projecting this to be one of the best NBA draft classes of recent times. So find some ways to make some money with those teams, even if you live bet them to you bet against them at the end of the third quarter ATS wise. There's some ways to make some money fading these teams for sure. What's up, Double? Good morning, Tasha. Appreciate you for tapping in. What's up, Super? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. He says, Happy Patriots Day. Good morning, Algina. Felicia says, good morning, Chris and chat. Let's get to the money. Super likes Powell and Reed point rebounds and assists. All right, we're going to get into those games for sure. All right, let's start off with Jackson. Jackson got mollywopped yesterday. 0-2 day for Jackson yesterday. Jackson liked the Cavs minus the 11.5. They were kind of BSing against the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento all of a sudden playing their players on the second leg of a back-to-back, which they the night before they were preserving them for last night. Tanking teams, I'm probably just gonna start not looking at their games at all. But there's a play that I like in one of the tanking teams games today. Orlando minus the 7 was a loser. Utah could have probably won that game outright. Not laying points with Orlando that's not something I want to do with my money. I should have probably thought about that a little bit deeper before just kind of looking over that game yesterday. But anyway, 0-2 day for Jackson yesterday. I asked Jackson. Today, I wanted to switch the prompt up. I feel like Jackson been given a lot of favorites. So I asked Jackson a very simple prompt. I asked Jackson, are there any underdogs sticking out today based on advanced analytics, situational advantages, or trends? And Jackson tells me that there is value on the New York Knicks, plus the 140 on the money line here. So it's keeping the points. It says it's a premier situational spot for the New York Knicks, while the Celtics are favorites at home. They are missing their cornerstone, Jason Tatum, which I don't know how much that means. He's been out for a while. The Knicks enter this matchup with a significant statistical edge and offensive efficiency and are looking to exploit a Boston team that has been trending heavily towards the unders recently. So it says the Knicks' path for an upset is their elite transition game and offensive rebounding. New York ranks third in transition efficiency at 131.6, led by their ability to score off steals, which is second in the league at 145.8% efficiency. Boston, while efficient, ranks just 20th in transition efficiency without Tatum's defensive gravity when scoring. The Celtics rank second. The Celtics' second-rate offense faces a major test against the Knicks squad that's third in the league in offensive rating. And then the news reports that Jalen Brunson is primed for a bounce-back performance. After a rare 12-point outing on Friday night, Brunson has scored 27 points in 14 of 22 road games. Furthermore, the Celtics have hit the under in 9 of their last 10 games, suggesting a low possession, grinded-out affair that favors the Knicks' physical style. If Karl-Anthony Towns, who's listed as day-to-day, is cleared to play, the Knicks' sixth-ranked offensive rebound would be a nightmare for Boston's front court that recently integrated Nikola Vucevic. So OG is out. That just popped up. Josh Hart. Sam Hauser is out. All right, so Sam Hauser out. Cat in, Hart in, OG out. Makes me think Knicks. Kind of make me think Knicks. I know Sam Hauser, that's less shooting. OG is a lot on both ends, though. Offensively and defensively, OG has a big impact. All right, let's keep going. Jose Alvarado also available to make his season debut as well. Knicks coming off a terrible loss, so we'll talk about that. All right, so next one up is Indiana and Toronto. Indiana plus 310. I'm actually not even gonna read this, man. I don't believe in this. I'll just read it to you guys. So it says Pacers' best chance to cover or pull off an upset is by turning into a high possession track meet. Indiana ranks 9th in pace, while Toronto prefers a more methodical 21st ranked pace. With Jakob Poeltl out, the Raptors lose their primary rim protector, which is critical because Indiana ranks 13th in short mid-range efficiency, while the Pacers are missing Tyrese Halliburton, Ivica Zubac. The Raptors are shorthanded with Emmanuel Quickly listed as questionable. Could be shorthanded with Emmanuel Quickly listed as questionable. Toronto's transition defense off steals is the worst in the NBA, which is 30th ranked, 123.5 efficiency, meaning if Indiana can protect the ball, the 11th in turnover percentage, they can prevent Toronto from getting easy buckets. This is a high variance play, but the absence of Poeltl significantly weakens Toronto's 8th ranked defense. Indiana money line plus 310 for today. I don't want any parts of that, but that's my thought process. All right, let's jump into the matchups, man. Link is always in the description if you guys are interested in checking out Jackson. Let's get into the matchup. So first one is Knicks and Celtics. I just want to see if the line has moved a lot. I feel like it hasn't because I put these lines in like maybe 20 minutes ago, and I didn't even see the injury news. Like I didn't get the notifications from Underdog that with the updated injury report. But now that we know who's going to play, the line hasn't moved a lot. It's looked like it's come. I saw some fours pop up. It's down to 3.5. The total continue to go down. Last night I wrote in my notes. This was at let's see. This is at 214.5. So it's down to 212.5. These games typically go under. When you see these extremely low totals, they typically do go under. Boston, coming off a really, really lackluster performance. They were without Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Karl-Anthony Towns in that game. They lost that game by a little bit more than 30 as a 5.5-point dog against Detroit. This is the first leg of a back-to-back. They got the Pacers tomorrow back at Madison Square Garden. For Boston, they've won 5 straight. They've gone under in 8 straight. They didn't cover against Miami in that last game. I kind of want to take the points. I feel like this is the toss-up type game, even without OG out there. I feel like Boston's still trying to integrate, Nikola Vucevic could be something that the Knicks kind of prowl on. The Knicks do have a significant rebounding advantage in this game as well, especially if they have Kata out there. I feel like Mitchell Robinson could dominate the glass against them. So I think I'd be leaning Knicks plus the points in this game. The fact that Josh Hart and Karl-Anthony Towns are going to play, to me means that, the Knicks are going to take this game serious. And Boston has been good. Don't get it twisted. They've been taking everybody money. They've been covering spreads at a really high rate outside of that last game. But Knicks got revenge in this spot. Last time they were in Boston, I remember them losing the game as well because I wanted to bet on them in that spot. So I kind of think the Knicks are the right side. Knicks plus the 3.5, I think will be the way that I prefer to play this one if I do get involved. Let's see if you guys have any thoughts. What up, Saturated? He says, got to get my get back from the refs giving the game to MSU last night. That's what I get for messing with college basketball. Yeah, Jackson be tripping sometimes. I do agree with that. Let's see. Me as a prompt, input, I guess in a prompter, I got to do a better job of making sure because you only gonna get the results of the, based on the product that you put in. So I gotta figure out ways that I want to, like ask Jackson for data. Like it's not always on the person. It's not always on Jackson. You got to make sure you're putting it in the right way. So if you just ask for dogs, it's gonna try to spit out dogs. So maybe that's something I got to do a little bit better job of. Yeah, I don't think they can beat the Raptors either, Jeremy. That's just my thought. I'll talk a little bit about that game in a second. Let's see. What up, Blind? He says the Celtics first half low-key been printing money, Chris. I did see that. I think they were like 9-1 against the spread in the last 10. When I was looking into it, they have been really, really good in the first half. Here's the problem, though, Blunt. With the Knicks coming off a 30-point loss, I don't want to fade them in the first half. So I get what you're saying. I completely understand. I was actually looking at the first half under as well. It's like 109.5. The problem is, like, both of these offenses can be so elite, and they have been going under in the last 10. I think both of these teams are averaging less than 212 points in their last 10 games. But just by luck, I'll bet it and everybody come out on fire. Nobody be playing any defense. Everybody just want to go watch the Super Bowl. That's why I think I'm going to stay away from it. And it's an early start time game. This game actually starts at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that could be even more reason for it to go under, as well. Typically, first, these early games typically go under. If they have a low total, they go under as well. So, like I said, Boston played in 8 straight unders. The Knicks, the best defensive team in the league over the last 5, games. The Celtics, same thing, last 5 and 10 games. So, everything says under. I think I'm gonna stay away from the total. I kind of want to take the Knicks though. Jeremy likes Boston as well. Oh well, he likes Boston. Okay. Adams a tough matchup, but I like Vucevic over his rebounds and assists. He's been diamond up and rebounding within in his new role. Also, JB 30 points. It's plus 104 on FanDuel. Scored over 40 in the last head-to-head matchup. It's Brunson under 6.5 assists. A good look. If they're gonna play a one-on-one, I do think so. He's been going under against teams that do play single coverage. And as far as the Jalen Brunson look, I do think without OG out there, it's gonna be easier for Jalen Brunson to get busy. The Knicks are a really good defense. OG is by far, in my opinion, their best defensive player. He is their best defensive player. Let's see what else y'all saying here. DJ likes Peyton Pritchard over 14.5 field goal attempts. Okay. LF says, bro, Celtics know the Pats playing tonight. They're gonna win by 20 plus. Okay. What up, Bissy? Says going with Brown over 6.5 rebounds here. Yeah, things are well, DJ. Things are well, man. Things are well. Taking the weekend to kind of relax a little bit, kick it with my son, play some video games, eat some good food. Got all kind of stuff brewing right now. And it's Sunday, so it's rest day. No workout. I'm just about to go get a stretch in, get on a Peloton, walk for 15, 30 minutes, give me a mile or two in, and I'm chilling the rest of the day. Watching basketball, watching football, man. Let's see. Prompts are definitely 90% of the work. Yeah, absolutely. Saturated. Just Dre says Knicks points and under. Prolific says I low-key don't want to even watch this game. I'm from New York and I'm a Celtics fan. Oh yeah, we know that. We know that for sure. LF says I'm a Knicks fan and I know this is a scheduled loss. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Heat and Wizards. So opened 11 last night is what I saw. Total was at 235. Total has gone up. Spread has gone up in favor of the Miami Heat. Now the Wizards are one of these tanking teams, right? I actually gonna make a graphic and I'm gonna put tanking team, a be aware or caution or something next to these teams or on top of their logo or something for the teams that absolutely don't want to win. What they did yesterday with the injury report was really, really atrocious. And I think everybody that was on that report yesterday, let me just go see if I can find an update real quick. I know a couple of those guys are listed as questionable. These are one of the games that you typically don't want to bet, but I do have something that I think is a winner in this game. So that's the only reason I want to share it. Like I said, I'm probably not going to talk too much about these games specifically, but let's get to the injury report. So the Wizards have Bilal listed as questionable, Kaishan George listed as questionable, Sars listed as questionable. Those were the 3 pieces yesterday that did not play. And without them, they look terrible. So Jaden Hardy is out. Sars questionable. Trey Johnson is out. and Gill is questionable. Keyshawn George is questionable. Bilal is questionable as well. Norm Powell's been upgraded to probable. He was listed as questionable yesterday, and Bam is probable as well. So Miami should have pretty much a full squad in this game. What I'm looking at in this game, and I went to, I actually don't even really want to bet it until I know for sure what Washington is going to do. I do expect Washington to punt the game. They're not good. They don't care about winning anymore. You know, the reports already came out that Anthony Davis probably not going to play this season. Same thing for Trae Young. So, I'm not going to get into, why they're doing that, but just go do your research, go do your due diligence. Washington, of course, has a pick that they don't own, so they're trying to tank it, make sure the team that they don't give it to is not the best team, doesn't get the best pick, blah, 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 blah. But just looking at the spot situationally, it is the second leg of back-to-back. The Washington Wizards have played in 5 straight overs. They've just been absolutely getting killed as of late, and they're not interested in winning. They're just interested in developing their young talent, or AKA tanking, whatever you want to call it. For Miami, it is the first leg of a back-to-back. They got Utah back in Miami tomorrow. So initially what I was thinking about in this game was taking the Miami Heat, taking the Washington Wizards team total under 112.5. And this was predicated on Miami being the 3rd best defense over the last 5 games, 4th best defense on the full season. Washington being 20th in offensive rating over their last 5 games, 29th in offensive rating over the full season. The ways in which that Washington like to score the basketball is typically long mid-range shots. They like to get out and run the transition. They're top half of the league in that. And they're actually a pretty good offensive rebounding team. Not the best defensive rebounding team, but they're top half of the league as far as offensive rebounds as well. Miami's top half of the league in every single one of those scoring zones, or ways to score. So I kind of think that Washington's going to struggle to score the basketball. However, without knowing who's going to be on the injury report, I'm not sure. What I do know for sure though is that, and I'm gonna actually show you guys this. What I do know for sure in this game is that the Miami Heat are coming off a pretty brutal loss in their last game. I think they had a 15-point lead against the Boston Celtics in that game. So I was going through and I was reading about this earlier this morning. I'm gonna actually minimize myself a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. I was actually going through and I was reading about this morning. So it's 2 angles for me in this spot. One, you just have a team that don't want to win in the Washington Wizards. And 2, you have a Miami Heat team that should be a little motivated, should be fired up, probably want to pull the starters in this game so that they can just chill, especially with the, fronting of a back-to-back, and they go have travel for tomorrow. So what is the bet, Chris? How can we find a way to make some money in this game? I think Miami first half makes the most sense. So I want to read something to you guys real quick, and then I'm going to go in Moneyball and show you guys a way, show you guys the statistical numbers as well. So when I was reading about this game this morning, what stood out to me was a quote from Norman Powell. He said, and this is a quote, he said, it's very frustrating, Powell said, after blowing a 22-point lead. Quote, like I've said before, we have to put a full 48-minute game together, and that's our Achilles heel. In the third quarter, we need to play with the same mentality we start the game with, and then sustain through the second half. We play a good 24 minutes. We need to finish it with another good 24 minutes, end quote. So we come here, right, and we go to this game, the Miami Heat game. We come down here and we start to see that, the Wizards, second leg of back-to-back, 3rd and 4th, 4th and 6th, it's all listed here. And we start to come down here and we start to look at the Miami Heat. I actually did this for, if we look at the full season, we can see that the Miami Heat are a really good first half team, 35, 16 and 2 against the number. So if you just bet this every single time, you have a ton of money. 5 and 2 if they're a road favorite against the number in the first half as well. But if we start to look at some of these more recent games, right? So it's the last 20 games. Miami Heat first half, 15 and 5 against the number, 3 and 1 if they're a road favorite in their last 5. Miami Heat last 10 games, 9 and 1 against the number in the first half, 3 and 0 ATS if they're laying points in the first half as well. And then, of course, you can just keep doing this, right? You can come all the way down to the last 5 games where they're 4 and 1 against the number, 1 and 0 against the number. And then you see if we look at the same trends for the Washington Wizards, not that they're a terrible first half team, right? 11 and 9 in their last 20, 6 and 4 if they're a home dog. But if we just keep dwindling this down, because they make the trades and they're not playing as well, 6 and 4 against the number, 5 and 2, I guess that is pretty good. But most recently, the last 5 times, the Wizards 2 and 3 against the number and 1 and 2 against the number. So I think, just the way that I expect Miami to be fired up and motivated in this game, and combining that with these ATS numbers, I think that the Miami Heat first half is the best play on the board. I also think that if we go up here, I looked into these games too. If we look at the last couple times that the Miami Heat have come to DC, they played really, really well. So we see Wizards at home. You can see that the Miami Heat smoked them in this game. They beat them 120 to 94. We see Wizards at home again. They got smoked in this game, 118 to 98. The Heat jumped out on them in both of these games. They lost by 26 and 20. And these were the last two times that the Miami Heat came to DC. And then you can see that they were laying a pretty big number as well. They were laying 9.5 in this game, and then they were laying 10 in this game. And they won both of them by margin. So I do think that the Miami Heat take full advantage of this Washington Wizards tanking team. The Miami Heat are actually in the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. So they have a lot to play for. The Washington Wizards want to play for nothing right now. So I like the Heat first half. The problem is you're going to get a better number, in my opinion, once you know for sure who's going to be in and who's going to be out. But this was at 6.5 this morning. Looks like 7 is still available on Bet365 right now. I guess I expect the Washington Wizards players to play. And if it comes down, then you get a much better number, in my opinion. So that's my thought process on this one. Miami first half, probably stay out of the way for the full game. Let's see. Let's just bet everything on Miami. That was just like the over. I don't know who's going to play, like if it's going to be enough scoring, in my opinion. I do think Miami should be able to score the basketball. Their team total is like 124.5. They should be able to score. This is the fastest paced team in the league. It's the fastest paced team over the last 5 games, fastest paced team over the last 10 games. The Wizards don't want to play a lot of defense at all. They just let Brooklyn score like 130 yesterday. So, yeah, I think I would lean over, but more so I just think Miami, even if the Washington Wizards don't come to contribute on the offensive side of things, I just think the game goes over. I just think that Miami dominates the first half and then kind of just, maybe lets their foot up off the gas in the second half with them being on the first leg of a back-to-back and the Utah Jazz coming to town tomorrow. So, yeah, I would want to get in and get out in this one. Adam Sasami Hakis Jr. to the moon. Sprinkled his triple-double. Yeah, they could definitely be lit on fire. What else should I say here? What up, J-Man? My guy, appreciate you for tapping in. Absolutely. I ain't putting my real name on you. I like that name. Yeah, they absolutely are. What's up, Brian? Appreciate you for tapping in. Will Riley points and rebounds for J-Man. Okay. What up to my guy, Si? Appreciate you, Lightbearer. Yeah, I think they smoked them in both of those first halves, Brian. All right, let's keep going, man. Do me a favor real quick, though. Hit the like button if you can. Subscribe to the channel if you guys have not. And let's go to the next game that I want to talk about. Actually, last one I want to talk about, Clippers and Timberwolves. So another game where you got, I don't know, man. Do we think the Clippers are about to tank? I don't know. I kind of feel like they'll still play hard. Of course, their ceiling is kind of capped now. Like, I think we can all agree to that. Like, who knows when Darius Garland is going to come back? I guess they're still trying to make a push for the playoffs, but this Clippers team, in my opinion, I think they're in some trouble, specifically in this spot. Now, I've been the first person all season to talk about how I actually made a post last week on Twitter about, or X, about how, just lackluster the Timberwolves have been. We know that they don't typically cover numbers. Just, 50-50 type team, man. They win one, they lose one, they cover one, they don't. They're 5-5 straight up in their last 5 games, 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. We talk about them coming off a loss and taking the under because typically they do play a little bit of defense in their last games, in their next game. But yeah, just atrocious loss to the Pelicans. The Pelicans were in a terrible spot. The Pelicans were playing like their 7th game of their last 10 on the road. And I think it was the last game, like a 4-game road trip. And the Pelicans beat them outright. They were laying 8.5 points in that game and got mollywopped to the Pelicans of all teams. But it happens, 3 straight non-covers for this Minnesota team. So what I wanted to talk about in this game, and to me, what makes the most sense, this is the first leg of a back-to-back. They got the Atlanta Hawks coming to town tomorrow due to Minnesota Timberwolves. And for the Clippers, it's their 2nd straight road game. They just played against the Kings. They were laying 3.5 points in that game. Did not cover the spread. They've actually failed to cover 3 straight games. Ever since the James Harden trade, they have not covered the spread this season. So 1-2 straight up and 0-3 against the spread since the Harden trade. So And the Clippers got the not that it matters, but they got the Rockets up next, little back-to-back series with the Rockets before I think the All-Star break this week coming up. And then I mentioned the spots for Minnesota already. So one thing I wanted to talk about in this game, and this is where reading about the game will help you do. I actually saw this the other day, but I didn't see the full quote. So this Minnesota team is actually bottom 5 defensive rated team over their last 5 games. It's crazy to think because you got Rudy Gobert out there, you got Jaden McDaniels, who is a premier defender, a top NBA defender. Anthony Edwards, if he puts his mind to it, could be a top defensive type player as well. And honestly, Dante DiVincenzo is a really good defender as well when they really want to play that way, but they just don't. And I think Ayo DeSumo should be available in this game today, so he should make his season debut his team debut with the team. But what I wanted to read was about this quote that came out from Rudy Gobert, where he talked about them giving up 119 points to the Pelicans. And he says, just no effort. That's a quote, just no effort. Gobert says, quote, we've seen that many times this year, last few years, since I've been here. We always know it's coming. When it comes, there's no sense of urgency, no accountability. So I think at some point, if the players don't have the accountability, someone has to have accountability for the players. If the players can't police themselves, then the coaches must do it. Quote, it should start with ourselves, but it seems like we don't have that. So I think at some point for the coaches, Gobert said, it's not an easy position to put for the coaches to take a guy out of the game. It's not something that you want to do. But I think if the players don't show an effort, at some point, no matter how talented we are as a team, if you don't have that, you just can't be a winning team. So he went on to say, and just in summary, he was saying more so like, I think the players who are not playing defense should just go sit on the sideline, put them beside Coach Chris Finch, let them watch if they don't want to play defense. I say all that to say the Timberwolves laying points at the crib, I'm never really interested in. I do think we get a really good effort from the Minnesota Timberwolves in this spot. They've pretty much owned this matchup between them and the Clippers, and this was much better Clippers teams. The Timberwolves have actually won 5 straight games against the Clippers. They've won 5 straight. They've only covered 2 of the 5, but they typically go under. 4 to 5 have gone under the number. 8-2 to the under in their last 10 games. So I kind of think we see, the Minnesota actually be able to do what they need to do in this game. I also think, because I'm gonna tell you guys how I want to bet it. I also think that the Clippers struggle early in this game. So the Clippers' first road game without James Harden. Remember, their first 2 games was at home, right? Since the Harden trade. Who was it? It was Cavs and Sixers, and they lost both of those games. But first road game, they are laying 3.5 points against the Kings. They lose the first quarter 27-17. So a 10-point gap in the first quarter. And if you look at the offense now with Brook Lopez being out there and no Zubac and no James Harden, I mean, you're really relying heavily on Kawhi Leonard. So if you lock Kawhi up, I'm not going to say lock him up, but if you slow Kawhi down, then you're relying on who? John Collins and Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Dunn. I like the Timberwolves early in this game. First quarter, -2.5. First half is what I would be playing. It's typically the role that they don't play. Typically, they're a really good third quarter team. But I think I want to go half unit on Minnesota early, first quarter, first half. And if they don't cover, then I'll take them full game. This is a game where I kind of want to trust Minnesota, though. Off a loss, Gobert calling the team out, Clippers off a win, Clippers without James Harden. This will be their toughest game so far on the road. Kind of think Timberwolves first quarter makes the most sense. Timberwolves first half. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. And then we'll go through the last game, even though I don't really like that last game too much. Let's see. I don't see anybody really talking about this game. Took Bam for 1 block. J-Man says in DC. Adams is targeting Rudy Gobert rebounds in this spot. No more Zubac. And who's scared of Brook Lopez? I allowed him to 14. I was looking at this, but the baseline was so juiced, Adam. He should be in a really good spot. I was also looking at, I didn't talk about this, but Nas Reed threes in this game. I'll talk about it in just a second. J-Man says Randall under 6.5 boards. Last 10 to Chris for the Wolves. Okay. Top MF in here says Clippers plus 8.5. Kawhi keeps it close. Okay. I took Randall rebound prop for plus 160 on DraftKings. Timberwolves laying big numbers. I'll pass. Blunt says, I think I want them early. Saturated says Clippers ain't it without Harden and Zoo. And I agree with that. I think that's a part of the reason why I want the Timberwolves as well. Situationally, the way my brain works, it makes a lot of sense to take the Timberwolves at least early in this spot, thinking that they come out with something off the big loss to the Pelicans. Yeah, that makes the most sense for me. So, real quick, I want to go over to Outlier really quick. I want to show you guys I want to show you guys what I was looking at. With Nas Reed. All right. So if we go to Outlier, and as always, there's a link in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. So we look at Nas Reed. His 3-point prop is what I would want to target in this game. I'm not sure if I'll get there, but I do like the plus money, so I may play it light. If we look at his 3-point, if we look at Nas 3-point, just 3-pointers in general, we can see that the 2.5 line is something that he's just been crushing in general. Averaging right at 3, see 2.9 over his last 10 games. On the full season, he's right about 50% on this number as well, averaging 2.5. But he gets a really, really good matchup in this game. So the Timberwolves defense they're actually the worst. Last 10 games, they're allowing the most above the break threes. Last 10 games, the 25th in catch and shoot defense, 27th in pull-up defense as well. So I looked at these last 10 games right here. And we can see, if we come down here, we can see that Nas Reed's averaging, he's shooting 41% from the 3-point line. You love to see that. He's also getting up 7 shots a game. So that's something also that you love to see. 7 attempts. So I looked at Nas Reed this season with just 6 attempts. So 6 attempts or more versus teams that are bottom 10 in the league. And he's actually hit this line in 9 of his 14 games, 64%, averaging right at 3.3 at threes made per game. I think it's a really good matchup. Also, if we go here and we just look at the head-to-head matchup, he hit 5. Yeah, he hit 5 in the only matchup that he played him early this season. These games came last year. So Nas Reed, threes at 2.5 plus money. I like it at plus 125. Him, Dante DiVincenzo, somebody's gonna hit at least 3 or 4 threes in this game. Just the way that the Clippers play defense, they give up a lot of stuff at the 3-point line. So this is actually my favorite player prop of the day. I just haven't played it yet. Clippers early and Nas Reed over his 3-point prop is the way that I think about this game. Let's see. House of Disappointment. That's a fact. Brian says Sundays Timberwolves -9.5. I can't do it. Early, maybe first half. Yeah, I think so too. What up, Fred? He says, good morning, Chris. Seeing you putting that work in. Thanks again for the fire content. You think about the Knicks today? Yeah, I kind of think that they cover, right? I kind of think the Knicks can get the job done. No OG is scary, but I think the Knicks are better than the Celtics. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I think the Knicks, when fully healthy, are better than the Celtics fully healthy because they haven't had Tatum yet this season. We'll see what Vucevic can do, though. Fred likes Drake May over to throw at least 1 pick, put 200 on it. Okay. Adam says, of course, I bet Nas in that last game. And he probably didn't do anything in that last game. But yeah, Nas is in a good spot today, man. He really is. The last game that I didn't go through was the Indiana and Toronto game. Not a game that I'm probably going to end up playing. My initial thoughts was just to take Toronto team total over. It's also what I leaned in that last game against Chicago as well. I'm gonna just let you guys know when Chicago play, I'm gonna just be running to the window, try to bet the over immediately, or the team total over for the opponent. 2 games we've seen for the Bulls without a true center. I mean, I guess they got Yabusele. Yabusele's not a true center though. They're missing a lot of size and they play super fast. It's like a new version of the Bulls. Now you just got other shooters out there. They were shooting 40% from the 3-point line, playing super fast. So looking at those team totals over. Anyway, Toronto got over their team total in that last game. They've actually cleared it, I think, in back-to-back games. They get a Pacers team that could be without Aaron Nesmith. He's listed as questionable. Zubac is on the team now, but he's listed as out. He won't make his season debut today. And then on the Toronto side of things, I guess what's holding me up a little bit is Quickly's listed as questionable. We know that the offense doesn't play as fast without Quickly. Trayce Jackson-Davis is supposed to make his debut. I'm interested to see what his minutes look like because I saw Jakob Poeltl listed as questionable for this game. So now they could potentially have 3 centers, with the addition of who did they just sign? They got Colin Murray-Bulls, Mamush Kilishvili, Trayce Jackson-Davis. So I mean, the rotation is going to be weird in my opinion, and we'll see what it actually looks like. So Toronto is the team that I think they will be experimenting with lineups just a little bit in this game. Indiana has lost 3 straight. This is their 2nd straight road game. Toronto 4th straight home game. They got back-to-back covers and back-to-back overs. Offense has been humming against pretty poor defensive teams, and that's what Indiana is. Indiana is a really poor defensive team. If you want Indiana, you typically want them first quarter. So I wrote down Indiana first quarter ATS or Toronto team total over. I think both of those things could actually happen in the same game. So those are the ways that I will be looking at this one. Like I said, it's really just predicated on the Pacers not playing a lot of defense. They are playing really fast recently. 9th in a few games. Toronto's team total is like 117, 116 and a half. They should be able to get there. The Pacers' pace should be able to force them to be able to score that many points. So that's the way I kind of think about this one. I think about over Toronto specifically, but I think the Pacers should be able to keep up as well, especially if Nesmith is in. If Nesmith is out, it might be even less defense and more offense. But we'll see what happens with Quickly in this game. That's the way I kind of think about this one. But I did not bet it. I don't really have too much interest in this one. Brian says, Chris, I'm on New York plus 3.5. I agree. I think they're a better team. Let's go. Yeah, I think so too. I think the Bulls are hilarious as well, saturated. Not just the players, the franchise is hilarious. Like from the top, the management, all that. It's absolutely kind of crazy. What's up, Tommy? He says he got the Knicks team total over 104.5. Raptors team total over 116.5. So some alignment here. Clippers plus 9.5. Brunson under 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists, all in his pocket. Okay. Can share cover his assists today, Chris. Big plus money on for him to get 6. I think, Adam, you got to wait to see what happens with Quickly. I didn't watch the last Toronto game against Chicago in that last game. I think I watched a bit of it, but I didn't see Quickly get hurt, so I'm not even sure why he's on the injury report or what he's suffering with. Tommy says Brunson's under. He's 16-6 to the under in his 22 games against the Celtics. Okay. Saturated says Chicago got 15 forwards and 12 guards. And they signed Mac McClung. That's a fact. They try to tank. They're just letting you know, and without verbalizing it, saturated. Man, Chicago is funny right now, man. They are funny. They are really funny. All right, let's get into a quick recap. I'm getting up over here, man. I appreciate you guys for tapping in, though. I like Miami first half, but like I said, I want to see what happens with the injury report on the Washington side of things. See if they end up ruling anybody in. I didn't put this up here because the injury report came out afterwards, but I kind of like the Knicks. I think Knicks full game makes the most sense. And Nas Reed over his 2.5 threes. I didn't bet these, but they agreed. Maybe I should just go ahead and bet them. I didn't bet anything yet, but these are the ways that I want to play. So I don't want to confuse you guys. I don't want to be a hypocrite either. But yeah, everything should be red. I didn't bet anything yet, but these are the ways that I think I want to bet today's games. Yeah, I think they make the most sense. So yeah, that'll be the show for today, man. Resources always linked in the description. Jackson, Outlier, Moneyballer, Eyes Jam. Kind of want to take the Knicks as well, but we shall see. The game starts in about 30 minutes. We'll see. We shall see. I send official plays out to the members as I always do. Link is in the description if you guys are interested. That'll be the show for today, man. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I haven't bet anything on the Super Bowl. I'm probably just gonna watch as a spectator. Best of luck on your action. I know you guys probably got plenty of Super Bowl bets, and we'll be back tomorrow, probably early tomorrow morning, to get the Monday card kicked off. Bet responsibly, especially with the tanking teams in the NBA. Catch you guys in the next one, man. Come out.